Let me tell you, I am an attorney at law. For over 25 years, I represented workers who were injured under the state workers' compensation system. And for the last 5-6 years, I've been doing federal level now, longshore workers and people who work on military bases. So I'm happy to see that there's people from both systems here. One of the things that we've tried to do is we've tried to make the Department of Labor return back to what they're supposed to be doing, and that is to help injured workers. We saw over the years that the workers' compensation system basically been hijacked by employers and insurance carriers who only care about the dollar. There's still a lot of problems that need to be changed. Have any of you had the opportunity to be sent to one of these independent medical examinations? I see. Okay. Did the reports come out against you or for you?
Against me.
Anybody got a positive?
I got one positive.
Okay, we got a couple of positives.
I got 1 in 10 positive.
1 in 10. First of all, let me just comment that they are not independent medical examinations. They are defense medical exams. The purpose is to send you to these exams by physicians, doctors, who are paid by the employers and the insurance companies. Simple as that. That's who, gives them money. And so naturally, despite the fact that they sit there and say, oh, it's independent, they're there for the most part to downplay your problems, to say they're not related to work, you don't need any more medical treatment, you don't need voc rehab, you can go back to work. And that's what I saw repeatedly for 25 years, and it's still going on. These defense medical examinations need to be reined in. They need to be really independent. How do we do that? For the last 10 years or longer, he has been going to the legislature with other organizations. You may have heard of WEMA, that's the medical providers who have an organization. There's also Hawaii Association for Justice, which is comprised of attorneys, and there's other groups where we've tried to unify with each other so that we're more powerful of a voice. Because what we have to do is we have to change things legislatively, and that's what I wanted to focus on here today. We found that the system had been corrupted because injured workers, despite what these examiners say, despite what the insurance adjusters say, it does affect your case. If you get a report that says you don't need any more medical treatment, they're going to cut you off in the medical treatment, even if you do really need it, even if your own treating physician is prescribing it. And that's not right. So what we've tried to do is we've tried to change that statute so that you have a better shot at getting a fair evaluation. So what we've tried to do is try to make it truly independent. And that would mean that the examiner is selected by mutual agreement of the parties, by the injured worker and by the employer insurance adjuster. Naturally, that has been fought. They have fought us tooth and nail on this for so long, because it really does boil down to economics. They don't want to pay any more money out on you. They don't want you to get all the treatment and rehabilitation that you need. That's just the reality of the way it is, and it's unfortunate. So what we tried to do is we tried to get the statute passed, or to get it amended, that would say that it has to be by mutual agreement. We've not been successful. We have been able to amend the law that says you can have a chaperone when you go into these medical exams, because I don't know if any of you had this experience, but some of my clients have shared with me that they see the evaluation report from these so-called independent medical examiners, and then they'll say, well, that's not what happened during the exam. He did this to me, or said that, yeah, you should have aquatherapy. That'll be really good for you. And the report comes out and says, oh, they're not really injured, and you don't need the aquatherapy.
Yeah, and they
So-
blame you for exaggeration.
And they say you're a malingerer. You don't want to return to job. You don't want to return to the job. My experience all these years is people want to go back to work, right? When you're out on work comp, folks, you get paid, what, 2/3 your average weekly wage? Are you getting rich on work comp? I think not. So anyway, we've tried to do things to help. So if you have a chaperone that goes into one of these exams, then that person can corroborate what was said during the exam. Also, we have been able to get a provision in there that you can record the proceedings so long as it's with the approval of the examining physician. Well, are they going to give you permission? Well, it's unlikely. I've had clients that have recorded these examinations. I don't say that you should do that. I'm just saying that they do that.
Not illegal. It's not illegal.
Not illegal.
In the state of Hawaii, you are legally allowed to tape record another party without their permission. Okay? All right. So that's one of the big issues we've got are these defense medical evaluations. And we need to continue trying to change the law so that it's by mutual agreement. Okay? The next issue I want to talk about is physicians' ability to dispense prescription medicines out of their facilities. Dr. McCaffrey, Dr. Taylor, et cetera, et cetera. When you go see your doctor, and if they have the prescription medicine you need, isn't it best to get it from your doctor right then and there? How many of you have get prescriptions and you go to Long's or Walmart or wherever, and it's not being approved? And you're waiting there in line for hours and hours. You turn in your prescription, and you know what they do is they have these middlemen on the mainland where they send your prescription to these middle people who know nothing about you, and it's all about the money. And what they do is they'll deny it, or they'll delay it, they'll drag it out, and that's not right. When you need your medications, you need them now, right? Okay, so we have been supporting the right for physicians to dispense out of their clinics, and we request that you support that proposal. The third issue I want to talk about are these denials pending investigation. How many of you had a claim and you submit the paperwork and everything, and they say, oh, we're not accepting liability? Okay? Even though you need immediate medical treatment or you need your wage loss, instead what they want to do is they want to have an independent medical exam, or they want to just drag it out with supposedly pending investigation. We have fought that as well, because we believe that if you're injured, you need to get treated right there. Unfortunately, some people get injured and there's no witnesses. You might hurt your back, you might have fallen down, nobody saw it at work, but you have a legitimate injury, and yet they're denying pending investigation. So we're trying to restrict the ability of the insurance companies and employers to drag that process out. They've got to do it within a short time frame, or your claim will be automatically accepted. The fourth issue I want to talk about are accountability of these defense medical exam doctors. You know, when you go in to see them, they say, oh, we don't have a patient-physician relationship. We're just here to examine you. We're not here we're not even here to tell them what treatment you should have. But the reality is that's exactly what they do, right? Now, if you're not getting the medical treatment you need, whether it be physical therapy or aquatherapy, isn't that wrong? Isn't it wrong for these defense medical doctors to say you don't need treatment that your physician is recommending or that you know helps you, right? So isn't that malpractice? I mean, it seems to me that if a doctor, they got a license, if they're not following the Hippocratic Oath and taking care of you as they should and being fair and recommending the treatments that you need, isn't that malpractice? And shouldn't these doctors be held to the same standard as your own physician? If your doctor, if your doctor messes up, you can sue him, right? You can't sue these defense medical examiners. It's an unfair thing, and we need to get that changed. So how do we change this? Well, we got to go to the legislature, and we do that every year. Now, you can make a huge impact on what the legislature decides. You may think, oh, I'm just one person. But you know what? If you're a voter, right, and you're a constituent of your senator, your representative, they listen. If you tell them, hey, I'm going to vote. This is what we want. This is my voice. It helps. It's tremendous. How many times have I gone to legislative offices or committee hearings and a couple of injured workers will come along? That the legislators, they bend over backwards when they see their constituents because, let's face it, you're the voter, right? They're staying in there collecting taxpayer money, getting paid because of votes. So how many here are registered to vote? I hope everybody is. Very important. If you're not registered to vote, we can steer you in the right direction to make sure you do get registered, because it's so important that you contact your legislator, either calling them up, writing to them, attending committee hearings, all of those things. And probably most of you have not done that. And you probably are thinking, well, I'm just one person, or maybe I don't know what to do, or I'm a little intimidated, or whatever. We can help you. We are happy to train you and go with you to the legislature. And all we need is for you to say, hey, I'm willing to do this, and we can do it. It's not that difficult for you to do this, but I'm happy, like I said, to help you do that. So just let me know if you're willing to do it.
Well, if you work with us, it's not that difficult to go down and give testimony. Is that correct?
That is correct, and it is very effective.
Well, thanks very much for all your service. So we're going to have in a moment, since we brought up John Hill, the other opponent we've taken in this whole struggle, in addition to legislative efforts, is to work with the media more, and John Hill with the Civil Beat. I strongly advise you guys to support Civil Beat. He has done an investigative kind of a tour de force of our own work comp system here locally. Shout to Envision MRI imaging facility. Those folks are always there. We know them well. They've always been supportive of injured workers, to the point if we get into a bind and we need an MRI study, I can pick up the phone and get one, even though the patient might not have an ability to pay, and the insurance guys have scooted up